Did you know that in combat sports, one of the most common injuries is to the shoulder? In fact, at least 30% of injuries are shoulder related. I'm Attila Varga with 40 years of training in martial arts and combat sports and teaching for 30, and I'm here to share you with some effective advice for injury prevention and rehabilitation for your shoulder injuries. Shoulder injuries are very prevalent in combat sports for several reasons. High impact, dynamic movements like striking and grappling put significant stress on the shoulder joints. Overuse, intense and frequent technique and training can lead to wear and tear from repetitive motion. And weak muscles. If the rotator cuff and scapular stabilizers aren't strong enough, the shoulder becomes more vulnerable. Poor technique, incorrect techniques can increase the risk of injuries, the strains and dislocations. Shoulder injuries are prevalent in combat sports for several reasons. High impact, dynamic movements like striking and grappling put significant stress on the shoulder joints. Overuse, intense and frequent technique can lead to wear and tear from repetitive motions. Weak muscles. If the rotator cuff and scapular stabilizers aren't strong enough, the shoulder becomes more vulnerable. Falls, impact, sports like judo, MMA, BJJ are often involves falls leading to acute injuries. Light rubber band, external rotation for rotator cuff and is great for injury prevention and as a rehab as well. Very good to put into the warm-up as well. It's just warming up even the rotator cuff for higher physical activities. And already if injury is there, is a great exercise, slowly, gradually strengthening up the rotator cuff. I just get the rubber band with under grip, I push my elbows to my ribs arc and pull apart. What I don't want to keep my elbow far from the hips. So you squeeze your ribs arc with the elbows and just pull apart, stop a bit and back. Three sets of 10-15 reps, excellent. If you integrate into your warm-up routine, definitely beneficial. Strengthening slowly again up after injuries the rotator cuff, or if your rotator cuff is still healthy, keep it healthy. If you put into the warm-up routine, very simple, or you prepare the shoulder with this very simple routine for the higher activities. Internal rotational exercise to strengthening up the rotator cuff, even as an injury prevention and very beneficial as well as a rehab or the after injuries. You have just to an object, touch the rubber band, you just grab somewhere. You don't want to get too loose, you don't want to get too tight. If you get closer to the rubber band, probably going to be more difficult to pull. And you just pull your elbow to the ribs arc like this. You keep the arm 90 degrees and you pull it in front of you, across the body, and slowly back. What you don't want again is this. You don't want to create space between your ribs and your arm. So for this case, you should put the object just under your armpit, more under the elbow, so not just here, because you can squeeze here by open here, but if you try to squeeze with your elbow, definitely you won't drop it. And you just pull it across, off you and back slowly. 3 sets of 10-15, very good, very beneficial. Internal rotation for strengthening the rotator cuff, and as I mentioned, is great for injury prevention and also great as a rehab exercise when already have some injuries. And external rotation is going to be the same. Just I'm gonna pull now across this way, so it goes outside. Again, the same key. I don't open the elbow off the ribs arc. You squeeze the object under the armpit and pull. 3 sets of 10-15 can be very beneficial. Let's stay on the rubber band. We have some really good variations with it. The next one, I just release from the object and I just grab both sides, step a bit away, and you try to pull behind you a bit. 1 and 2. Yeah, it's just back. It's like a letter A. Because when you pull your arm back here, you hold it like that. It's a letter A, let's say that. Yeah, let's do about 10 reps. You hold it here at the end a bit, and now you pull your arm horizontal to the body. Let's say this letter T. And letter Y. Overhead, arm straight as much you can. And you can pull back behind you, rotate back and back. Is like a wall angel variation without the wall. Just with the rubber band, you pull behind you, overhead, back, and you feel the resistance band a bit working. It's very beneficial, gradually builds some strength. And we need a little light dumbbell, and the next one is the internal rotational mobility, external rotational strength. One foot up, elbow knee together, other leg straight, and post yourself behind the other hand. And very simply, just try to keep the arm 90 degrees, that's a very important part of it. And you just lead the hand down and pull it back. This one, with playing with the resistance already, can be a very good for rehab after injuries, before we're ready to go back more intense training, because it's a quite good resistance work already to the shoulder and the rotator cuff. And it's a bit mixed. So when I turn down here, it's more for internal rotational mobility, and when I pull back, I need to use some strength to bring back. So I don't want any momentum using the body. It's just simply the arm, bring it back here. Let's see some exercises for shoulder rehab after injuries when you feel you can't move the arm. Couple of no resistant exercises, very light resistant exercise. So probably before you want to pull any rubber band or you want to touch any even light plate and light dumbbell, it's very simple. You're just leaning forward, arms hanging, and just let the arm rotate. Just big circles around each side. Let's do 10, 15. It releases the stress of the shoulder and helps the blood circulation around as well. And the other side. Usually the problem is coming when it's getting stiff and tight, and also very good exercise can be is the wall angel, a little bit underrated. I don't know why. You're just standing at the wall like this, heel at the wall, hips at the wall, head at the wall, and you put your arm up like this. You try to not doing that, so it's a compensation by the arm and the shoulders, because if you keep difficult here and you can't keep your wrist at the wall, it already means you have tight shoulders. So you just try to put them up to the wall. You keep touching the wall with your head and the hips and push your arm up high and down. It's not gonna be easy at all. Maybe you don't feel any pain, just stiffness, and definitely worth to practice. Very good as an injury prevention, and very good as a little active active rest. For example, between drills, you do some exercise, for example, pull-ups, and between 2 sets of pull-ups, and just go to the wall, shake it, and work. With the pull-ups are absolutely excellent, because even you can hang a bit. If you train even normally, you don't have any injuries. And after you do this, it also opens up the shoulder, and very good for the T-spine mobility as well. A low resistant exercise is absolutely excellent, and I like to integrate this even into the warm-up routine, because it's gradually you can do a nice warm-up and very good for your coordination and very beneficial to the shoulders. Again, the first, you just start from here, palms on the floor, and you have circles. And also very good after shoulder injuries, for example, when you did standing the circles around and you feel you can do something more. So lightweight, already on the arms, circles forward, backward, and after that just some steps forward, backward. Already you have a little weight in your hand, so if you don't weight even lightweight, you can't. This is a great exercise with the rubber band, with a light rubber band. Actually is a lighter resistant, can be like this, because already a couple of kilogram pressure you have on your shoulder with this. Just forward, backward, make it more difficult, knees off the mat, forward and backward. Especially in grappling art, jiu-jitsu, judo, very typical warm-up exercises when you have some steps around and you do some different kind of moves from here. Well, also great for shoulder mobility, coordination and strength in different direction. After injuries, for example, when you can move, or you did some circles, some crawling variation, but you feel you need some stretching, also excellent. You just put your shoulder to the wall. You can turn your palm this way first, also feel a very good biceps shoulder. And you look over the other shoulder to keep pushing the wall gently. And you can turn your hand this way as well and keep rotating. And the other side is the same. And after you can do some circles, each arm, and again. I recommend the next exercise to you to integrate into your warm-up. The reason is why, because it increases blood circulation around the shoulder area and increases mobility. Very simple, standing, and just like before we did the circle, we're coming out now and we finish overhead like a big number 8, arm straight. So there is no waving movement like this, arm straight, and try without any shoulder movement. It's just very simple, straight arm. 10 circles each direction, and arm goes behind the ears. The next one also excellent, without any equipment, so not requires anything, just a little effort to do. The waiter drill, palm upward, turn a hand outside and overhead backward. Each hand 10-15 times. Brilliant. Very good result. Opening of the shoulder more, make the shoulders more release, and we can do both direction. In the next one, you're going to grab the stick at the bottom, both hands, and you just turn your hand one, and you turn back. One, turn back. Now I turn and push with the other hand back behind me. Very beneficial not only to the shoulder, but also to the elbow, wrist, and the forearm. You have a great stretching all around in the arm, because you have this kind of rotational movement. Well, it's beneficial to the shoulder, elbow, wrist, and stretches the forearm as well. And after the other side, the same. Just hold it here, one, turn, turn, and push it back. The If you talk about shoulder rehab and injury prevention, we have to talk about shoulder blade stability, because shoulder blade stability is really important in a healthy and strong shoulders. Next to the mobility, we need a good shoulder blade stability, because with every single movement, if we don't have shoulder blade stability, we can hurt our shoulder even more. So the next one, gonna be very simple. You need a little rubber band, you hold it and pull it down. This one, with already I activate the shoulders. So pulling down here, I push the shoulder down towards the floor and towards the wall as well, or 90 degrees, engaging the lats. So this is the first part. And at the same time, I keep pulling this down about horizontal. Just lift the other hand up, shoulder height, and go down very slowly. Building stability and control. Lift it up a little bit, relatively fast, hold it, and down. It's a great rehab with a very light weight, and a great exercise for strengthening the injury prevention as well, already with a bit heavier. Because at the same time, to develop control and shoulder blade activity, actually make the whole shoulders around stronger and more safe for dynamic movement later. So pull it down. Three sets, 10, 12 reps. It depends on the weight, 15, but usually 10, 12 is enough. You hold it longer at the top and go down slowly. Slow negative is controlled downward. So not the gravity takes it down, and not you lift it up with momentum from here. Lift, stop, and down. So your shoulder is hurting and you feel very stiff and you don't have time to do anything with. You have time. Next one is a sleeper stretch. So even when you go to sleep, you can practice some. So you lie down on the floor, mat, bed, arm 90 degrees here. Make a fist and just very gently push this hand down. And after, let it back. Arm 90 degrees here and 90 degrees to the body here. And when you push it down here, you're gonna feel the rotator cuff already stretched, and just back. You need a stick, put it over the arm, grab from the bottom, pull, hold it few seconds, and back to starting position. Very beneficial for the rotator cuff. So these are some very effective and useful tips for shoulder injuries and injury prevention. I really hope you like that and you got a couple of tips and you can use it beneficially. If you like that, don't forget, hit the like, subscribe for more, and don't forget, leave some comment in the comment area.